snow, rain, storms. Weather has always fascinated us. This has led to a whole industry of amateur weather stations allowing folks to report the local weather into the authorities, like NOAA. Unfortunately, many of these weather stations are expensive, hundreds if not thousands of dollars. The kit in this video is a little different. A friend of mine sent me this. It's a Brookstone weather station. It's pretty inexpensive. I think it was about $20, he said. It could be useful as a starter weather kit, particularly for a teenage or young child. Okay, let's take a look inside. So we have a manual. Let's come back to that in a moment. And we have a couple of pieces. Let's unwrap. This is what's inside. There's a single main weather station, and it has a collection drawer for the rain. On the base here, you can see it has a compass and a temperature. Here's the wind speed, the anemometer. Say that 3 times fast. Because I'm not reading the instructions, which is what I should be doing. It looks to me like these go in like this. Make sure they all face the same direction. Like so. Screw the top back in. As you spin this, you can see that the anemometer is reading the wind speed. And then this last piece here goes on the base. And we'll see what this is for a little later. So there it is. It's cheap and it's plastic, but it's pretty solid. I think it will withstand the weather. Let's take a look at the manual that it comes with. As you'd expect for a guide for youngsters, it has some introductory material, definition of weather, introduces the weather station, kind of explains what the pieces are. We've already been through that. Then there's another knowledge section about climate, wind, clouds, different types of clouds, rain. There's an introduction to the Beaufort wind scale. This is very handy. It gives a relationship between the Beaufort number, the wind speed, which they can read off the anemometer, and also what conditions you'd see on the sea or the land. There's a section here about wind chill temperature. And then there's a small weather recording form, which of course is the fun of this station. As you watch it every day, you want to go out and record the information of the weather. So you've got the date and time of the reading, the wind speed, the wind direction, which you can use the compass for. temperature, cloud cover, cloud types that you observe, current weather, I guess that's just your description of it, the precipitation, which you can read from the little water bucket, and comments. And that takes up the remainder of the manual. You could photocopy these, or if you go online, there are a few weather recording logs that you can either print or buy. So all in all, it's very straightforward, and it should be a good introduction. Let's go and take it out into the garden. There's 3 ways that you can do the readings in your garden. Obviously you can get the wind by just holding it up, but you can't sit there and hold it for 24 hours to let the rain collection work. So one thing you can do is to maybe mount it on a bracket from a shed or somewhere nearby, or maybe on a metal pole. Imagine there's a metal pole here holding it so it's away from the ground. Or of course you do have the option of just digging it into the ground, which is what that spike is for. And as you can see, you can get a wind measurement with it stuck in the ground. You have to see how the wind flows in your garden. One way to get the wind is just to hold it up, keep it away from ground level, and you can see the anemometer is spinning. You can see that the vane is pointing from the wind direction, and you can then read the wind direction from the compass at the base here. In fact, you can turn this, for example, north is that way. So as I hold this up and it's spinning, you can see that the wind is basically coming from the south, maybe the southeast. And obviously the wind here in my garden is a little impulsive. It's blowing in different directions as it swirls around the houses. But this is definitely one way in which you can read the wind, is just by holding it up. Here you can see the wind reading right up here on the gauge. I'm getting gusts here, as I said before, but we're getting somewhere between 0 and 6 miles per hour on the wind, gusts up to 6. And maybe in your garden you'll get a more consistent wind. Obviously it's going to vary every day, which is exactly why you're measuring the weather every day. And then on the little tray here, each day you can pull it out and you can see the rain level. Just a small amount of rain collection here. Looks like it's about 4 millimeters. And obviously you dump that out each day, capture the next day. So in conclusion, should you buy this weather station? Obviously it's very primitive, very basic. I don't know how accurate some of these sensors are. And obviously if you want a very accurate method of recording weather, then go buy one of the electronic weather stations. That's going to make it very easy for you to just sit indoors and read the values. But then where's the fun in that, right? I think the advantage of this is it gives you a chance to actually get out into the weather and get physical with it. Maybe you have to go out in the rain. Maybe you go out and it's very windy and you need to read it in high winds or snow, or it just makes it more visceral. You're actually out there in the weather. For under $25, you can't go wrong with this. I think it's very great for someone just to get started. They can come out here, take the readings, put them in the log, and see if they actually have a long-standing interest in the weather. It's probably very good for small children to introduce them to the concepts of weather recording. On that basis, I would say buy it. It's very solidly made and it's very cheap. If you want that very basic kind of weather recording, if you want something more substantial and accurate, go buy one of the expensive electronic ones. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like if you did. And stay tuned for the next video. Cheerio.